Have you ever wondered why sometimes human beings act so irrationally? Apparently, we are very rational creatures. However, we often have contradictory and erroneous behaviors. In this video, I will introduce you to the book Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. This book reveals a deep psychological observation about our two different ways of thinking. By knowing this information, you will have access to a better understanding of your brain, but also, you will open a path to avoid mistakes originated from your false assumptions. With this, you will be able to make better decisions in all aspects of your life. Here's a little exercise to get you started. Here is a notebook and a pencil that cost a total of $1.10. If I tell you that the notebook costs $1 more than the pencil, how much does the pencil cost? If you answered 10 cents, you have fallen victim to quick thinking. On the other hand, if you resort to slow thinking, you'll realize that if the pencil cost 10 cents, then the notebook would have to cost $1.10, and the combined cost would be $1.20. The correct answer is that the pencil costs 5 cents and the notebook costs $1.05. This exercise is the perfect introduction to our two thinking systems. The author argues that we have two different types of thinking. On one hand, we have System 1, including fast, instinct-driven, emotionally charged thoughts. And on the other side, we have System 2, made up of structured thoughts articulated by our critical mind and based on our rationality. The first system is thinking fast, and the second one is thinking slow. We spend most of our time in System 1. We deceive ourselves into thinking that System 2 governs our actions, meaning we believe that we are rational, analytical, and reflective beings. But the reality is that automatic, quick, intuitive thinking is what is most active during our day. This can cause us to make bad decisions, make serious mistakes, and miss opportunities. There are thousands of ways our mind plays tricks on us. Do a quick search on cognitive bias, and you will realize how irrational we can be. System 1 can be accurate on many occasions. In reality, we can't sit around all day thinking about the repercussions and causes of every action. That would take a lifetime, and we would never get anything done. However, there is a limitation with System 1. Quick thinking can lead us to jump to conclusions. This system quickly fabricates a story, intuitively making a connection to explain what is happening, based on past associations and memories, and it seeks to construct meaning through patterns and assumptions. All this happens very quickly in our brain, and we will momentarily believe that story, even if the story is false. When something that happens in our lives surprises us a lot, System 1 works quickly to gather as much data as possible to reach a conclusion. It fills in the blanks with assumptions it believes to be true, and this process can lead you to fail into the following trap. What you see is all there is. This phenomenon makes us focus on the existing evidence and ignore all the absent evidence. It's even possible that your System 1 creates a false story, and your System 2 structures an erroneous argument to support it. If you are not careful, this can create deep limiting beliefs that might interfere with what you truly desire. This is the main reason why people jump to conclusions, assume bad intentions, fall into biases, or build conspiracy theories. The mind centers around limited evidence and ignores absent evidence. System 1 quickly builds a coherent story based on assumptions, and System 2 ends up strengthening and deepening it in your mind. Here, I will share with you 4 mistakes that people who rely too much on System 1 can make. I present to you these 4 cognitive biases in the following way to form the acronym ALTO, meaning stop in Spanish. This is so that you can remember to stop when necessary to question System 1, to study what is currently happening, and to start thinking critically. A refers to automatically confirmed. Our System 1 can rush to conclusions very quickly to put together a story that has coherence. For example, imagine a person who has the belief that he or she is poor and is desired to be poor all of his or her life. When this person encounters a work failure, a business that didn't work out, or a mentor who let them down, they put a gigantic weight on that evidence to confirm their belief. They might say, sure, that business didn't work out because I will be poor all my life. Beware of experiences that reinforce your limiting beliefs. Confirmation bias directly affects how you receive and interpret information. An event occurs, but your interpretation distorts the truth to fit what you believe to be true. This is a problem we all have. However, there are 3 steps to minimize the mistakes that system makes. 1. Accept your beliefs and be aware of them. 2. When you meet someone with different beliefs, make the effort to listen to them and ask them questions to illustrate their perspective. 3. Be attentive to the evidence that automatically confirms your existing beliefs and do not rush to conclusions. Next, the letter L refers to framing limits. This occurs when System 1 makes a decision based on the way information is presented. Marketing plays a lot with this limitation of our minds. For example, you go to the movies and they offer you 3 sizes of soda: small, medium, and large. The small is $2, the medium is $2.30, and the large is $2.50. They present the information in such a way that you think the large soda is the best choice you can make. We constantly fall victim to the framing bias. Social media, television, and marketing agencies present us with a framed perspective of reality that limits our ability to think outside the norms these sources promote. Regarding this, we recommend you to read more. In a previous video, we went in depth into the benefits of reading. By expanding your vision thanks to books, you will strengthen your reasoning capacity and will be less susceptible to the limited encounters that may arise. Let's continue with the letter T, which refers to the theory of perspective. This theory, developed by the author of Thinking Fast and Slow, is also connected to the media of loss aversion. This concept may sound a bit difficult to understand, but we'll explain it to you. Imagine someone wants to invite you to a heads or tails bet. If it comes up heads, you win $150. But if it comes down tails, you lose $100. Most people would not participate in this bet for the fear of losing. Kahneman's studies include that people feel losses more strongly than gains. Meaning when we lose, we feel twice as much pain as the satisfaction we find when we win. System 2 can help in this case. We can get to realize that if we participate in this game for 100 rounds, we have the probability of winning $2,500. Intuitively, we do not want to risk and lose, but in certain occasions, you can analyze the situation using System 2 and realize that the risk that you had previously intuited is not as big as you thought. Finally, the letter O, which represents the exaggerated optimism. There are people who seek to compensate for loss aversion by going to the other end of the scale and acting with excessive optimism. System 1 can spiral out of control and act irresponsibly with the illusion that everything will be fine. Blinded by optimism, people can bankrupt a company, get into a car accident, or destroy a relationship. As individuals, we need to be aware that our actions have consequences, and therefore we must maintain personal responsibility. Careful. By this, we are not saying that being optimistic is bad. However, we must balance this emotion with a rational analysis of the situation, considering, what am I gaining if I do this? What am I losing? What are the odds that this will work? These questions will help you perceive errors that you may not have previously considered. You will be able to act with a more informed perspective and vision of reality. When we make decisions based on System 1, we are convinced that we are right. We construct a coherent story that does not take into consideration the quality of the elements that make it up. We put together random facts that make us believe we are right, and we forget the information that could help us change our minds. Making quick and hasty decisions can be comfortable and easy. Unfortunately, to be wiser while making any decision, you will often have to stop and try to widen your thinking. You will have to resort to System 2, where you think slowly and patiently construct a narrative that contains as many variables as possible, including those problems you don't want to see at first. For this reason, when it comes to making a decision, you have to be patient and avoid acting driven by your emotions. Let your head cool down and don't jump to quick conclusions. By having a more informed opinion that is consistent with the facts, you will be able to make a better decision. Before you finish the video, think about an important event from the past. Then, with what you know now, think about whether or not you could have made a better decision. You will realize that you could have taken a few steps back, looked at the overall context, and taken all the necessary elements to have a clearer view of reality. This is the gap that separates the two thinking systems. The first one interrupts, crushes, and reacts, while the second captures, clarifies, and expands. Try consciously applying System 2 to capture new ideas. When something important happens, let your mind cool down for a few days and process as much information as you can. In this way, you will be prepared to avoid making mistakes. Try thinking analytically with the desire to get closer and closer to the truth. And don't allow your impulsive and prideful desires to cause you to fail. Be precise with your thinking, and you will find the solutions to the biggest problems and challenges you encounter in your life. Wait, before you continue with your next big project, don't forget to subscribe to Full Insight. If you like our content, please share with a friend or a family member that might benefit. Until next time!